Hi, this is Christina. In this video, I'm going to do a quick overview of what's going on behind the scene of my Fuse Online Wine demo. So first of all, everything is deployed onto OpenShift. And then on this OpenShift, I have deployed a Fuse Online environment for citizen developers to configure their connections to different resources and then create integrations on top of that. And a Postgres database that contains all the wine product information is also created and deployed onto OpenShift so that I have access to what I wanted later from my APIs. Next up, defining the APIs. I'm using Epicurito, which is one of the built-in tools inside Fuse Online to allow me to define the definitions of my APIs and then export it as the Open API standards. Once I have the definitions, I can start implementing it using a SQL that retrieves all the data from the database. And then everything will then turn into a camel routes, which is then stored into a database within Fuse Online. And then another source to image process is then kicked off, and then builds combines everything into a container and then later on run as a Kubernetes pod on OpenShift. A Kubernetes service is also created. This service acts as an internal proxy or load balancer to the backend running pods. So you can spin up as many pods as you want. It will redirect or load balance the requests into the backend pods that you have. At this point, we have an API that is ready to be used, but it is unsecured, so it is still not available to the external clients. What we're doing here is we were trying to protect this API through 3Scale. Here we get to choose what kind of protections that we want to apply on top of our APIs, either by a simple API keys or 2.0 or other SSO mechanism. And we can then set up the path and policy to access the APIs and also set up who is allowed to access the APIs. So how does 3Scale knows which services is available inside this Kubernetes environment? 3Scale Smart Discovery automatically detects the Kubernetes service that is labeled true for 3Scale to discover. Please note that you will need to allow 3Scale to have privilege such as cluster-wide visibilities or authorized to view to see all the services. Once the 3Scale have access to your services, and then you can start configuring all the policies, securities, and things that you want to apply onto the APIs. Once you're done, you have a secure API for your client to access.